Welcome to the ceremony module. In this module, we shall discuss the process of blessing your altar. This practice is intended to consecrate your altar and enhance its significance. I prefer performing a ritual for my new altar as it makes it feel more magical rather than just I've set these things up and they're pretty. It makes me feel like I'm engaging more in spell work. And this approach also helps to invite the presence of whom the altar is dedicated to, as it demonstrates that I have created a special space or I conducted a ceremony in their honor. Blessing the altar. The specifics of this process may vary depending on who the altar is for, and each altar may be unique. However, I will outline a basic blessing from the book The Sacred Ceremony by Stephen D. Farmer, PhD. If you want more information, this is a great book to start with. Um, I liked it. I think it's really good. It's very inclusive and it breaks everything down into an understandable, easy to read format. When should you have your ceremony? Once you've set up your altar, you need to choose a suitable time for your ceremony. This can be based on various factors such as the new moon, a full moon, eclipses, planetary alignments, birthdays, or any special day that holds significance to you. You may select any day that works best for you and your ancestors or whoever your altar is dedicated to. One method I use to determine the best time is I use kinesiology with muscle testing. This would be like when you make yourself a pendulum and you ask yes or no questions and you kind of sway one way or the other for the answer. You can ask questions like whether the ceremony needs to be performed during the day or at night, on a specific day of the week. You can go through the days of the week to find out what that altar feels better doing it for. On a full moon, a new moon, and you can just go through everything just to narrow down the best time to do the ceremony. There are different types of ceremonies. There can be personal, family, or community ceremonies. If this is your personal altar, which most of them are, you can conduct a private ceremony. It may be best for you to perform it yourself with your altar. If your entire family is involved, they can participate. However, I have found mostly that altars are personal, so it would likely be just you and your altar. Once you've designated the place and time, you want to take a seat in front of your altar. Then you're going to invoke your spiritual guides through meditation and say a prayer. Um, Usually it's one of gratitude, like thank you for joining my altar. Or I've actually come to realize that it's thank you for joining your altar. I was saying thank you for joining my ancestral altar, but really it's theirs. So this year, actually within the last month, I have changed my verbiage to be thank you for joining your ancestral altar. Because really we did set it up for them and we just benefit from their knowledge. Some people do have family altars that they share with their spouse or partners or children, so everybody can be involved. Like I said, most of the time they kind of look at your side eyes. So most of the time it's just your personal altar. I'm going to have a separate module just about prayers that you can use that are from different books I got and how I put mine all together. So I won't go into the prayer part of it as much. In the book Secret Ceremony, it is mentioned that some people believe that all prayers should be expressions of gratitude. Excuse me. It is recommended to start prayers with a specific thanks for what God, the universe, or whoever it is, or whatever it is that you believe in, has done for you. Afterwards, you can include any petitions for blessings or healings. I mean, it is acceptable to ask for things. A lot of people think you shouldn't. You don't want to be excessive with it. Continually requesting things can become burdensome, so it's better to focus more on gratitude and then ask for it afterwards. When I first started, I annoyed the crap out of my ancestors because I was constantly asking for things because I was at the time starting out. I just lost my job, so I was coming from a place of lack. But now, as I have grown and gone further on my journey, I don't ask for as many things as I used to. I've scaled a lot back on my requests. Um, they sort of hear every day. They know what's going on, so I figure they know what I need. And mostly I just kind of say, "Hey, I'm looking for this big thing." Now the the request used to be a lot of little tiny things, and now I'm like, "Hey, I just need these three big giant things to happen." And they're probably like, "Oh my god." So I'm sure they shake their head at me. But like I said, yeah, I'm sure they're working on things in the background. Beginning your day with a prayer of thankfulness can be an effective way to set the tone for your morning routine or altar opening. You can express gratitude for the gifts you have received. I usually say, "Thank you for what I have received, both seen and unseen," as there may be events occurring behind the scenes aligning in your favor without your knowledge. This practice encompasses appreciation for all that is evident and those synchronicities or opportunities that have yet to materialize. So that is something I do. When we get more into the prayer part, I'll go more into some of the verbiage I use. Like I said, once I this class is just a basic of here's some ideas of things you can do, and you'll hear me say it a lot through the whole course. There are no, and even through my Reiki course, there's no police. There's police in you. Nobody's going to come in and inspect your altar and go, "Oh my God, it's not set up right. Why do you do it that way? It's not the way you're supposed to do it." And if they do, they're not people you want to hang out with. It's your personal practice. It's your personal relationship with your ancestors or deities. So you can do whatever you want. They may make suggestions. I had a dream of a deity, and I had talked to a friend of mine, and they had made a suggestion of blue lotus leaves because they were of Egyptian descent, and I would have never thought of that. So I may suggest things to people. You don't have to do it, but it's just a suggestion because I thought that the suggestion I got was helpful. So if I make suggestions to you, it's not me telling you how to run your practice. Just a suggestion to take it or leave it. And next, we're going to get into candles. Once a spiritual presence has been invoked, you may light a candle. Candle colors carry specific meanings, and selecting a candle based on these attributes can enhance your ritual. You can consider referencing resources on candle color meanings for guidance. Most of the ones I buy have a booklet or something on the back that has all the candle colors in that box and what the meanings are, so that you know what each color signifies. You may dress your candle. I know that invokes little suits and dresses on your candle meetings or visions, but really it is applying specific oils or mixtures of oils and herbs, which may then be adorned with ribbons or flowers to enhance the significance in your ceremony. Different oils have different meanings. You may have a blend of oils that you use for a certain meaning. You may have a blend of herbs that you use. All herbs have different meanings. You can have different color ribbons to mean different things, or different flowers around the outside to enhance the spell or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I use different types of candles, and they have different purposes. So in the morning, when I say my original prayers, in the morning, well, not my original prayers, my morning prayers, I use a tea candle. They last about 6 to 7 hours. I get them from Amazon. They have the little plastic bases. They're all different colors. So I go and I light them each morning. And I'm home all day because I work from home. So I can leave them lit from the time whenever I light them and they just burn out and they stay lit all day. So it kind of gives me that magical feeling all day of candlelight. I also use chime candles. I use those on my for rituals that I'm doing. Those are the ones that I'll dress more than the tea candles. I have a different I think I have a video somewhere on dressing candles. If not, I'll find it and put it in the group if you're in my groups. And if not, I will send you a link if you're not in my groups. I think I have it on my yeah, YouTube page. So I dress them. I let them sit on the altar if it's some kind of spell I'm working on or something I'm really petitioning harder for than I normally ask. Then I'll dress my candles and let them sit. Then I get really into the meaning of all the herbs, of the colors, the ribbons, or however I'm dressing them takes more of a significance. I also have started my chime candles because they don't stand up on their own as much. I have little chime candle holders for them, and I take the empty tea candle holders and I will put the chime candle holder in it because the chime candles melt down. They don't disappear like the tea candles do. When it melts down, the tea candle holder kind of catches the wax, so it doesn't get as much of it on my altar cloth as it used to. I kind of learned that from a different class I took when I learned how to dress candles. So for my morning practice, I pick a chime candle for the week because they last about a week, and I light the chime candle, and then I say my prayers, and then I light the first tea candle, and then I use that same chime candle as I go to each of my altars to light every tea candle or incense or herbs or whatever my offerings is that I need to light. I use the same chime candle all morning through each one. That makes me feel like all the altars are connected by the same flame. It makes kind of has like a more spiritual feeling for me. It's like I said, you don't have to do any of the things I suggest, but you may want to try it and see how it goes. Um, it's just something I enjoy. And I'll put it I'll light the candle, I'll put it in the chime holder on that altar, I'll say my prayers, and then I'll pick it up and move it to the next altar, light that candle, put it in the chime holder, say the prayers. Then if I have incense, I'll light the incense off the tea candle. So everything is connected. All the flames are connected to the initial flame that I lit. Another way that you can consecrate your altar, or you can combine all of them, you can burn sage or Palo Santo or any loose herbs that you have. I have a video on smoke cleansing in my Reiki group and in my portal group. So if you are taking this and you're not part of my Reiki course, I have a free group portal that has the videos that I talk about in it as well. That is where you'll find. I think I have the candle one in there, and I know I definitely have the smoke one in there, or the smoke cleansing one. And that goes into all the different herbs, what they do, what they mean, and how to use feathers to smoke cleanse objects if it's something that you're not familiar with or you're new to. Additionally, you can burn your favorite incense, or you can use sound, like drumming, rattling, chiming, or chanting to enrich the experience or make your space feel truly special and magical. During new and full moons, I illuminate all the altars and I burn different herbs at night while performing my purification rituals during the day. This process fills my home with a magical scent, and it makes it a positive tone for the following day. So at night, I'll burn all my loose herbs. I'll use Palo Santo. I, and then when I go to bed, I'm like, oh, it just smells good. Mugwort is one of my favorites. It has a really nice scent. So that is one of the loose herbs that actually are some of the loose herbs that I burn at night on the new and full moons. And then when I wake up, the house just smells like I just say, oh, I love the smell of magic in the morning. When I do my morning of a full moon or a new moon, I go through the whole house with sage and kind of cleanse everything. And I have a floor sweep I put down and a spray that I use. So I do a whole purification thing on the new and full moons in the morning. And then I can include it at night with the night ritual I do with all the altars. You can use Palo Santo as well. I tend to use that. I work from home, and I keep a stick of Palo Santo by my desk so I can light it whenever I have a really difficult customer that's trying to kind of clear that negative energy before I get to the next call. And like I said, it's your personal ceremony and it should reflect what feels magical to you. There's no strict rules or regulations governing altar practices. It is a deeply personal endeavor. So by utilizing all these things, we're bringing in the elements. We have water for a offering. It's free, and you can get it out of the tap. You can use a glass you already have at home, or you can buy a special glass for it and put that on your altar to nourish your ancestors, which I'll get into more in the offerings part. But that is your water representation for elements. You've got fire with the candlelight, air with incense, smoke, and feathers. We have sound, which is one of your senses, and can also be considered air with the chimes, the chants, and prayers. Possibly dancing for grounding. So you're engaging all your senses and all the elements. Your herbs can also be like an earth if you have the loose herbs. Each element contributes to a consecration, consecrating your space for its intended purpose, whether honoring your ancestors, your deities, or spirits of place. Once the initial tasks are completed, take a moment to meditate on each item on your altar, reflecting on the significance and the reason that you put them there. For an example, I have a heirloom that is my great grandparents' wedding ring that sits on one of my altars. So this is a personal family meaning for me on the altar because it connects me to my great grandparents who I never met in life, in my life, but it kind of connects them to one of the altars that I have. You may want to contemplate the history and lineage associated with your items, and that can help deepen your connection to your practice. There's no need to get any exact answers on any questions you are contemplating about, because everything is important. You need imagination, curiosity, and a childlike sense of wonder. These are essential elements to create magic. Rediscovering these qualities will help transform you. They're allowing you to revisit past experiences and find pieces of yourself that may have been missing, lost, or obscured by external influences, life challenges, just day to day crap. So I have an oracle card that has the Sphinx on it, and part of that is you're uncovering hidden parts of yourself. Like you're excavating through the sands to unearth the answers that you have within yourself, because you have all the answers you need. You just have to find them. So by creating your altar and connecting with your roots, you can explore your origins to find out, why you do the things you do, where your patterns came from, or you may have deities that are attracted to you that may come to you to build altars for them, and you may find that the stories of their lives or the powers that they have are something that will help you on your journey. This journey with your altars will help you reconnect with parts of yourself that you may have lost along the way and find them and bring them back into your life to help you go forward on your journey. Once your altar is prepared, you may want to pray on behalf of anyone in your life who is suffering, whether it be friends, family, animals, plants, trees, or global situations. Numerous studies have demonstrated statistically significant results in outcomes changing when subjects have been prayed for. Notably, many of these prayers were performed for infants, plants, or animals, thereby eliminating the placebo effect. This is similar to what I do when I do my Reiki practice. I try not to tell people specific expectations because I want to avoid them coming back and saying, well, you said that's something that would happen. So how do I know that didn't happen just because you kind of planted that idea? So I may give them basics and then whatever else comes up, I'll just let them know it's normal as it comes up, but it's something that comes up normally for them naturally, and they can't say that I kind of planted the seed of what may come up for them. Similarly, with prayers, the outcome can be unpredictable, and sometimes things are meant to happen in a particular manner. So you may not always get what you want. You may be praying for something and feel disappointed if it doesn't materialize as you anticipate it. However, like manifestation, once the intention is set, it is important to release control and allow events to unfold naturally. I know this is hard. I have a lot of control issues that I've been working on. So letting go and letting everything just come as it's supposed to can be challenging, but it is essential to let go and observe how things evolve. The chapter on consecration in the book, when it ends, it says almost the same thing. Slightly better results are achieved when one relinquishes control and trusts in God, the universe, or whatever higher power it is that you believe in. It is recommended to end the prayers with "Thy will be done," or "So it is," or "So mote it be," or however you want to close it, letting whatever it is know that you are letting go and allowing events to proceed as intended or for your best interest. A lot of times, this is helpful because we are limited in what we know. We don't know everything. We can't see all the different outcomes, and we're only limited by our imagination, our environment, and our knowledge or our scope of things. So something could come up that's outside of your knowledge or your scope of things that you would never have thought of. So by asking for a specific outcome, you could be limiting, the good things that could come because could come up that you never thought of or were beyond your imagination. There are different types of ceremonies that you can have: healing, transitions, and celebrations. And as we go through this, you'll see that these are common ceremonies that people don't even realize, I don't believe, that they're doing some kind of ceremonial stuff with. The poo poo people would poo poo the woo woo, but they do similar things. Ceremonies are like a natural life cycle of beginnings, middles, and endings. Often we forget to celebrate our progress, focusing only on our future goals. It's essential to look back and appreciate how far we've come. I have a monthly planner that I put out, and in it, we've done it for a year. So now that we've done it for a year, we look back to the new moon the year before and focus on what we've accomplished between that new moon and the full moon that closes that cycle. This helps everybody have a chance to see how far they've come, see what they've achieved before moving forward into the next cycle. And it gives you a chance to celebrate what your achievements are. Setting future goals is really important, but acknowledging what you've completed can also be helpful to provide motivation. Sometimes we get overwhelmed because we're like, oh my God, look how far we have to go. But when you look back and see how far you've come and how fast it really was, because I know it seems like forever sometimes, it can help you reach, whatever your goals are better. And there is a ceremonialist and a herbalist named El Chai, he's mentioned in the book, and he also emphasizes that everyday events should be celebrated, as life itself is a magnificent ceremony. With you as the central character. But celebrating everyday events as life itself is a magnificent ceremony with you as the central character. I know the new thing is main character vibes. Oh, they have main character vibes. You are the main character in your story. If you're not the main character in your story, who is? Because they shouldn't be. It's your story. You should always be the main character in your story. Healing ceremonies can address physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wounds. Healing is one area that often impacts others. For example, a broken arm affects our emotions, our physical well being, and our thoughts. As the arm heals over time, our overall state improves. So these types of ceremonies can be for individuals, families, or communities. An example of this would be when a celebrity dies. People will set up memorials, they'll bring gifts and mementos that were meaningful to them. This is a collective grieving and healing ceremony. It's showing how this celebrity connected with many different lives. Examples would be like David Bowie, Robin Williams, and Princess Diana. They were like the biggest celebrities that passed away in their time period. And everybody came and they made these big offerings for them, even though I know David Bowie's death wasn't tragic. Well, it was tragic because he died, but it wasn't like Princess Diana's, where that was kind of a more of a trauma related thing. These people still had significant meaning in everybody's lives. So they come together to express that grief. A lot of times people look down on people who collectively do things like that. They're grieving the loss of somebody that they'll never see again or hear again. It's still a loss. It's still something to grieve. There'll never be new music or new movies or whatever that celebrity does. It'll just never happen again. So it's a collective grieving from a group of people who have familiar or similar experiences involving that person. So despite differing opinions, these types of altars help people process grief and loss together. And really, it's an altar. When you see that big display of flowers and candles and mementos, it's an altar that has been created. It's a community altar that was created for that person. Transitioning ceremonies. These can happen for when you're moving from one phase of life to another, like marriages or divorces, the birth of a child, the death of a loved one, starting a new school, moving to a new place, starting a new job. Everyone encounters a point in their life where they're standing on the cusp of a significant change. This year is my significant year of change. I've been kind of stuck in a holding pattern for a while. And this is 2025 when I'm reading this course in case it gets watched later on and I don't update anything. So my guiding principle this year is to embrace transformation, and my saying has been burn it all down. And I have some friends who are familiar with me saying that because I've been saying it since probably the end of December, beginning of January. And then oddly enough, all the astrologers I've been watching this first quarter have been saying, "Oh yeah, all these planetary alignments are going to burn it all down." And it makes me laugh because I had no idea. I'm learning astrology, but I don't know enough about it to know that's what's going on. So the fact that I kind of aligned with what's happening, I don't know that maybe a lot of other people are on that same track this year is just burn it all down and let's start over. And then the friends who are familiar with my journey, they'll understand this sentiment as I have been willing to let go of the old and start afresh. This year marks a transition for me. I've been feeling stagnant and unable to progress for several years. So I recognize now the necessity of letting go of control and preparing for the next phase of my life. This transition is not towards an end, but rather from one stage of my life to the next. I have spent considerable time thinking about it, and now it is time for me to move forward. Such periods of transition are common to everyone, and these milestones are significant and worthy of celebrating, marking important life passages, like I said, including birth, schools, marriages, divorces, even the onset of puberty, you have bar mitzvahs, and even the death of a loved one when you have like a wake or something similar. Celebrations, ceremonies. In addition to annual ceremonies like birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays such as Christmas and Easter, there are many rituals that people observe. You shouldn't feel guilty for creating your own meaningful rituals. Celebrate events that matter to you, such as the first day of spring, the equinoxes, or any of the turns on the wheel of the year. Many people decorate their altars for each season or each turn of the wheel. This year, I've decided that I am going to buy a small birthday cake every month for my ancestral altar. And I have chosen the weekend closest to the new moon. It's important to celebrate birthdays, and I enjoy cake. So it's win win. Everybody wins. So you can celebrate any event or holiday that holds special meaning for you. Some people commemorate the anniversary of someone's death by performing specific rituals at their ancestral altar. It's a way to remember and honor them. There are many ways to create meaningful celebrations, so it's crucial to remember that conducting personal ceremonies, whether in your home or in your yard, is your own private business. The way you choose to celebrate, grieve, or observe any life event is solely your concern. You can tell everybody else to go pound sand because it's got nothing to do with any of them. It's all for you. Stages of ceremonies. Ceremonies usually have three stages: separation, transformation, and incorporation. Not all ceremonies need to include every stage. Different ceremonies might emphasize one stage more than another. For example, transformation might involve significant life events like reaching middle age or achieving a weight loss goal. Celebrate these transformations as part of your ceremony. There are many aspects you can incorporate into your ceremonies. Separation. Separation marks the beginning of a ceremony where previous phases are left behind. This is useful in transformational processes, signaling a departure from past stages and movement towards new ones. The concept signifies that something new is about to enter one's life, with emphasis on future prospects rather than what is being left behind. The book describes it as a metaphorical death, indicating an end to some phase or aspect of one's life and creating a distinction between the life before and the life after the moment of separation. This change can be real or symbolic. For example, weddings use symbolic separation, when the father walks the bride to the altar, signifying the end of his relationship with her and the beginning of the relationship with her new husband. Similarly, birth ceremonies like baby showers celebrate a mother's transition to parenthood. During these rituals and events, there are other ones like when the baby is born, they'll put him on the mother and cut the umbilical cord to symbolize the release from the mother into the world. To conduct a to conduct a separation ceremony, you may set up a gateway, which could be as simple as drawing a line on the ground that serves to symbolize the transition from one phase to another, marking the commitment to move forward and leave the old behind. You can put a line of salt, you can use a string, a jump rope, just something you can step over to symbolize that you're leaving whatever it is that you're leaving and moving forward to whatever it is you're moving forward to. Transformation. The transformation stage of the ceremony is when release or renewal occurs, marking a shift from the old to the new. This can be seen as an initiation or threshold stage, such as during Reiki attunements, the connection that connect you with the source. Transitional ceremonies may include rituals like anointing with oil or water, like when you are baptizing a baby, welcoming by attendees, and the movement from past to the future. The transformation begins upon entering the ceremonial space, forming the main body of the ceremony. So in Reiki, you learn what Reiki is, then you do an attunement. And then after the attunement, you are transformed and you learn the hand signals, you know how to do the hand positions, and that is part of your transformation that you have transformed into, we loosely call it a healer or someone who helps people heal. And then you learn how to do the work after the transformation has occurred. Incorporation comes next. Having reached the transformation stage, you now cross the line into your new identity. After completing the middle part of your ceremony, you return through the gateway, signaling the incorporation stage. This critical part reintroduces you to the community with a new or transformed identity. Incorporation means being brought back into the body of family, village, or community. And again, like the example in Reiki ceremonies, after learning what it is and doing the attunement, you're integrated by learning the hand positions and how to use them. My Reiki course illustrates this well as it includes a start, middle, and end where you incorporate what you've learned. So that's just a good example that I have is you started your transformation by entering the course, you do your attunements, which is center of it, the middle part, and then you've incorporated it all when you learn your hand positions and how to do the healing work. Closing your ceremony. When planning a ceremony, it is essential to establish a clear intention or purpose. Determine whether the ceremony will focus on healing, transition, or celebration, and consider if it will be a personal event, a family gathering, or a community affair. Clearly define the desired outcome of the ceremony. Consider the timing, the location of the ceremony, decide if it should occur on a specific day, during a certain lunar phase, align with particular planetary events. Choose an appropriate venue, such as an outdoor space, your home, or another significant location pertinent to the ceremony's purpose. Carefully plan the progression of the ceremony, including the beginning, middle, and end. Outline how you wish to commence the ceremony, what key elements will be included in the central portion, like herbs, candles, water, how you're gonna, what other things you need in there. I don't know how many times I've started something and be like, "Ah, forgot. Hold on, I'll be right back." And I gotta go get the things I forgot. Decide if the ceremony will follow a structured format or if it's going to be more free form and you're just going to wing it. You may choose to script the ceremony step by step or approach it spontaneously. For further guidance on creating meaningful ceremonies, I highly recommend the book Sacred Ceremony: How to Create Ceremonies for Healing and Transformation. While this course offers an introduction, the book provides a comprehensive exploration of the topic. By considering these aspects, you can design a personalized ceremony that aligns with your intentions and serves your needs more effectively. See you in the next module.